You may have seen this little milling machine. It's an Optimum BF20. You might have seen it in my previous videos. I've had this for about a year and a half and it's done everything I needed as far as boring and slotting and facing. I've never been quite happy with the size of it or the rigidity of it. I've wanted something bigger and heavier that can take more of a cut for a little while now, something more Bridgeport like. And this is a small workshop, so I couldn't really have anything bigger than a Bridgeport in here, and I wouldn't be able to move anything bigger around anyway. But anyway, I'm trading this in. I've actually bought a new machine and this one will be sold very soon. This is the new milling machine. It's a late 60s, early 70s PAL milling machine made in the UK. It's in great condition, the ways are good, the bearings are good, everything about it's good, except it needs a 415 volt three-phase supply. And the motor on it is a 2-speed motor, it's a Darlander wound 2-speed motor that doesn't work with a VFD. At best I lose one of the speeds, and I'd need to use some kind of transformer or something to get the extra voltage as well. I'm on a 240 volt supply here in the workshop. So I'm going to be doing a motor transplant at some point. I'll show you a bit more info about that. Thought I'd just show some of the tooling that came with the milling machine. The whole system runs on an International 30 taper with a metric draw bar, and it came with a boring head, drill chuck, face mill, ER40 collet chuck. I've got a set of collets from CTC on order because my previous system was ER32 on the smaller mill. It does have 2 Clarkson auto-lock collets and a partial set of collets to go with it, but I'm probably going to sell those to fund the ER40 collet set. I'm already set up for end mills with a smooth shank, so it doesn't make sense for me to scrap all that and start again with the threaded shank type. Also, I'm hoping to get an ER40 chuck made for the lathe for work holding, so having been able to do every size, whether it's metric or imperial and all the in-between sizes, that should be quite handy on the lathe. These can grip up to 26 mil. And if I make a collet chuck that threads onto the spindle nose of my lathe spindle, I can also pass material through the headstock. My spindle bore is, I think it's a little bit over an inch on the lathe, so that works really well with this size of collet. The vice you see here is an unknown brand, but it seems to be pretty high quality. I guess it's English made. This jaw width here is just a little bit under 6 inches. It's a strange number, it's sort of 5.5, 5 3/4 inches. It's really heavily made, looks like it's in good nick. It's on a rotating base. The one strange thing about it is that this is the fixed jaw and this is the moving jaw, and I've never seen, or never owned one like that. I've seen them online, but can't demonstrate it at the moment. But yeah, that's the vice. You can also see the clamping kit that I ordered for it. It's a I think it's an 11/16 table slot, but this 16mm kit is pretty much ideal. It fits in easily with no slop. So. And in this shot you can see the motor and the sort of drive mechanism inside the head. Using the belts inside here, you can have 8 different combinations. There's a set of 2 and then a set of 4, so that gives you 8, and with the 2-speed on the motor that gives you 16 speeds in total, and it's a high-speed spindle. It will go as standard, it will go up to 3,550 RPM I think, and all the way down to 70, so pretty useful. Now I'm going to be swapping this motor for one that turns at the same RPM and has the same power, but it will run at a lower voltage, and it will be run from a VFD, so that will allow me to run it at home on my ordinary power supply. This is the Bellow motor I hope to use. It's, I think I mentioned before, 200 volts, 60 Hz, 1740 RPM, and it works perfectly with this VFD. I've had to tell the VFD that its native frequency is higher, and that allows me to cap the output voltage of this. Instead of 220, it will run this at around about 200 volts at 60 Hz. Until I got the voltage to frequency adjustment right in here, it was providing too much voltage to the motor. It was providing 220, and that's no good. The motor would run hot like that. This is a foot mount, so that's no good. That needs to be adapted with an angle plate to sit on the head of the mill, and the shaft is 7/8 of an inch, which is about 22.2 millimeters, whereas the pulley on the mill needs, I think, 28 millimeters. So there'll be an adapter there as well, or I may bore and sleeve the pulley, sleeve and bore the pulley. Well, that's pretty much it for the mill. I've got a couple of other projects on the go. I've got my wooden bandsaw that I've been making for... I haven't actually done anything to it for 4 or 5 months. I spent a few weeks on it at the end of last year, and it's kind of been on the back burner since then. So I'll show you pictures of that and where that's up to. But there'll be videos of me finishing that off in the near future. This is the bandsaw I've been working on. It's a 20-inch wood gears bandsaw, based on Matthias Wandel, his design. It's basically finished. Everything works. I've used it multiple times. I just need to build the enclosure for it and the stand to pick it up so that this is a normal height. And that's probably only a couple of days' work. I just haven't got around to it yet. I'm also cleaning up some steel that I picked up from a friend of mine. It's all rusty and I need to clean it off and put it into my steel stock for future machining and fabricating projects. Here's the steel stock that I'm cleaning up. It's all mild steel or mystery alloy steel. I got a big piece of chromoly from the same friend, so I'm hoping that some of this is good quality stuff, but we'll find out. And here's some of the stuff that I've cleaned up already and some that's in progress. I think that's about it. The mill is my focus, and I've got to get that motor adapted, and then I've got to get the mill moved into place, and then I can list and sell the old mill. Anyway, thanks.